episode 28 of PauseCast. It is the 9th of February 2017. Finally fucking crushed it. Got it.
You normally say the day of the week too.
Oh, shit! It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
It's Thursday, the 9th of February 2016.
16.
No! Fuck. Okay.
I didn't even have to...
Combine
I
the,
thought I was going to mess
combine
you up, but
the
you actually
two,
said
and
it.
you'll get it. You'll get the date. I'm Jessica Alouette. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Mark Hannah. I use he, him.
So, Mark, how does it feel to know that your co-host is a fucking dunce? Great way to start
Just
everything off.
Record yourself saying every number to, like, 20,
Yeah, like,
and you can just splice them together.
Some fucking text-to-speech bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good.
Right.
Save me
Say
a lot of time.
the name of each month.
Christ. This actually, interestingly, pretty good segue into something you wanted to talk about.
I suppose it is, yeah. So,
Fuck. What,
like
have you?
last
Okay, wait.
week,
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you?
Yeah.
Are you playing anything right now?
Like last week, I've played nothing for last week.
Oh.
I've had a busy week. And I was away for the weekend as well, so that cut out my Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday because it was a long weekend. I didn't get back home till 11 o'clock. And then last night was finally my D&D session has started up again for the year, which meant that on Tuesday night I was finishing off on my preparation for it. So no, I haven't actually played any video games in over 2 weeks now, which is kind of dumb when you do a weekly video games podcast, but hey, that's me. But I have thought it might be interesting to talk about, and there's a lot of these, games that involve time travel. Because I had a friend staying a couple of weeks ago, and I finally had someone I could watch the new Doctor Who that I got for Christmas with. So I've been thinking a bit more about time travel. And there's a lot of really cool games that have it. I haven't played any new ones lately, but I have played a bunch. So we can get into that. But before we do, what have you been playing this week?
That's it's such a big fucking question at this point.
Yeah?
It's got
Have
a
you
long
been like
answer.
making up for me? You making up for me?
Yeah, I mean, here's like a rundown just really quickly. Overwatch, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Deus Ex Human Revolution, Doom, fuck. There's probably more in there somewhere.
You played that beta of that game?
Oh yeah, I played the beta of Ghost Recon Wildlands. It was not...
You're playing a lot of shooters.
I've been playing a lot of shooters recently. I'm in that zone. That's where I am. Unfortunately, I will say, sorry NVIDIA, the Ghost Recon kind of blew. It sucked.
You didn't like it?
No, I did not like that at all. Everything else I've been playing is really good. I wish Modern Warfare Remastered performed at all consistently on a PC. But
So wait, so that how many games old is that? Because Call of Duty is like one a year or something, don't they?
yeah, they're on a yearly release cycle. It is. I've got to check. 1, 2, 3.
I'm guessing like in the
Four,
around the era of
5,
8.
6, 7, 8 games old.
Oh, I was actually right. Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty good for someone who hasn't played a Call of Duty game since that one.
Yeah. I'm playing the remastered version. I really wish it would perform literally at all consistently on a PC.
So is it just choppy for you?
Yeah, the remaster it's very, very choppy.
Okay.
It looks really great though. All the like new lighting effects that they've put in and all the rejigged like textures and all that it all looks really great. It just does not perform consistently, and that's a crying shame considering Infinite Warfare performs infinitely better.
And that is the latest one?
Yes, that is the latest one, and the remaster came packaged with it.
That's the space one, right?
Yeah, that is the space one.
Okay. How's the space one?
I've only played the multiplayer, so no thoughts.
Wait, is it? I thought. Wait, there's non-multiplayer Call of Duty.
Yeah, like I play the campaigns on all these games generally first, but this time I jumped into the multiplayer because I
Oh, that's right. No, of course, because I only played the campaign in whatever one it was that I played,
Modern
the
Warfare.
famous
Yeah.
one. But since then, I've only thought of them as multiplayer games because the people I know who play them only play them for multiplayer. Except you, I suppose. I should probably include you in the people I know, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
That'd be fair.
yeah, we're just two strangers and we interact with each other
Thinking
every
more,
week.
one of my brothers used to play a lot of them, and it was only online that he'd play it. So I've just grown used to thinking them in that context. I remember occasionally they've got single player, but
Yeah.
I think I forget more often.
Apparently the single player in this one's got a cool robot, so gotta check that out.
Like Giant Robots, the game, which I also forget the name of.
Tim Tam Slam 2.
I feel like the last word is correct.
I mean, close enough. It's Titanfall 2 is the one that you're thinking of. The one with the very large shooty robots. This is a one with a very small shooty robot.
Oh, okay. That's less impressive, perhaps.
Yeah, it's perhaps less impressive, but apparently it's like a cool companion in the story.
Is this just like a floating gun that follows you? I haven't played this game. I haven't seen anything about it. And now I'm imagining it in a D&D context.
Robot.
Okay, I was imagining it like in D&D, you can Dungeons and Dragons, you can get like a magic sword that will like float beside you or something. I was imagining it as a gun like that.
Okay.
So it's like,
well, yeah,
it's a gun that shoots for you.
It's okay. So interesting, like observation that I made while I was playing Call of Duty 4 again was that it actually has character switching, which is a thing that I like a lot in video games when they do it, like Grand Theft Auto 5. Like I liked the switching between characters, and like all of the characters had like distinct things distinct different things about them. The thing about Call of Duty 4's character switching is when you switch, your character is just a gun, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Which is a real shame, because there could be cool stuff happening there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But
if it's hard to identify it with character, it feels like just changing location when you switch, right?
Yeah, it's basically it. And you're just changing location, and you're also a gun.
Because they don't have unique abilities or anything like that. Call of Duty's always been pretty standard in those terms. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the cool things that the last couple of games have done has been that they've added like classes into the multiplayer. So if you play as this class, you'll have this ultimate ability. If you play as this other one, you'll have this ultimate.
What sort of stuff are we talking about?
There was. I'm going to use the previous game as an example. There was one class that you could choose where you had spikes that you would jump up and drop into the ground, and it would cause a huge shockwave which destroyed anybody in the immediate radius.
Okay, so they've gone away from trying to be semi-realistic then.
Yeah, they've gone into, like, I said when I was playing Black Ops 3 originally that...
And that's what, like 2 games ago or something?
It's the previous game.
Okay,
I said that like this is the point at which the series has gone full sci-fi.
Right.
And I think it is better. I think it is better to go full sci-fi because there's way more creative possibility.
That's fair enough. You can make stuff up.
Yeah, you can just make stuff up, and like you can justify.
And no one's going to say, "Hey, that gun doesn't exist," because you just say, I know, I made it up."
Yeah, that doesn't exist. Yeah, I know. I made it. Look at it. It's very shiny. You can put different paints on it. It's really great. But the shift into that's kind of an interesting way for it to go now. But all of these like classes, oh no, they do have character. They actually do have like individual voice lines and personalities and stuff like that per class, which is kind of neat.
Okay.
They don't add any narrative value though.
Yeah, having individual voice lines doesn't necessarily translate into really feeling distinct.
Yeah, but
it can.
It helps flesh out a little bit of the characterization.
Yeah,
and then,
I can just if it's done poorly, it can fall flat.
Definitely. Another cool thing that Infinite Warfare was doing in its multiplayer was each mission each game you have a choice of 3 missions, which is just an optional objective to complete while you play the.
When you say each game, that's a multiplayer match,
yeah,
right?
each multiplayer match.
Okay.
You get to choose from one of 3 missions, which you can complete during that match. If you complete them, you get like an optional reward.
Wait. So, by missions, these are objectives?
Yeah,
like they're all available to you the whole time in that map?
You choose one, and then that set becomes available for that mission.
Okay, and you don't have the option of doing the others because you've chosen the other one.
That's the thing. When you get back, the other 2 missions that you had will still be available, regardless of if you succeed or fail at the one that you chose. And then the slot that you used is swapped out for something new.
Right. Okay.
So I've really been liking that system.
Sweet.
Makes it easier for you to get some of the loot and stuff like that by doing it. So.
How does that work? Because I haven't played many multiplayer shooters, as I've mentioned a bunch of times before. But is it a progression as you level up? You get these things in this order, or is it a random drop thing?
There's a little bit of that. There's like the actual like weapons and classes, and they've added this new thing called mission teams, which offer you different like sets of objectives.
Mm-hmm.
So one is more tactics focused, one is more kind of a generalist, that sort of thing. So if you want to get really deep into that, then that's a cool way to do it. What was I talking about?
Different classes. Yeah, I'd asked about the unlock.
Oh right,
system.
yeah. So you have all that, and then you also have random drops that you can get. They're called supply drops, and you can purchase them with a certain amount of in-game keys. You get them just for playing the multiplayer matches.
Right, and presumably this is where microtransactions come in, because it always is.
You can, yeah. There's it's there, but it's also just super easy to earn those keys because those missions that I mentioned, every time you complete one, you get a key. And every time you complete one, it actually increases the challenge tier. So you might start out with, get 1,000 points, and then you complete that. Get 1,500. And it keeps upping the ante up to maximum.
So it gets harder and harder and harder to earn these keys, but they always stay just easy to buy.
No, I'm saying the mission tier resets after you've finished it. It's giving you more keys if you do.
Oh, it cycles through.
Yeah, it's giving you more keys if you do better.
I thought you meant it. Oh, right. So is it when you fail that it resets?
No, just at the end of every mission. Or at end of every match. Then the mission resets and you get a different one.
Okay, I understand.
You get how the system works now?
Yeah, I think I had the scales wrong in my head.
Yeah, quite possible. But I've been really liking that progression. And those keys will give you loot, which is just cosmetic stuff.
Right.
It's all different paint jobs that you can throw on your guns to look cool and good.
Of course. That sounds like a Call of Duty
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Okay. So has it all been shooters that you've been playing?
God, it's been a lot.
I didn't even remember the last time I played a shooter. When was the last time I fired a gun in a video game?
I think you just what you need to get is you need to play Doom.
I don't think I'm gonna end up getting Doom. It's like, I don't know, gory and stuff.
I mean, to be fair, that was my hesitation too. So I totally respect that.
Now I'm trying to check with Steam what games I've played, but it doesn't remember because it's been too fucking long. Because you know how it normally says like within the last 2 weeks, but oh, right, 2 weeks.
Oh shit.
Hmm?
I just looked at Steam and fucking John Wick is getting some more payday heists. Cool.
I don't know what John Wick
John
is.
Wick was a really good action film that was released a couple years ago now.
And there's Payday DLC that's like the film.
Film adjacent,
stuff.
yeah, because Chapter 2
Okay.
is coming out pretty soon.
Is that like the Hitman chapters?
No, it's like it's another movie.
Oh, the movie.
The movie
thing's coming out.
John
Right,
Wick
sorry, I thought you were
Chapter
talking about
2
the game.
is happening.
Okay.
And so Payday 2 is getting a bunch of heists for it, which is excellent.
Okay. Haven't played Payday. There's a lot of games I haven't played. Generally, if all you see is a gun and the people you shoot, I probably haven't played it.
I mean, yeah, fair. That is fair.
But yeah, so is there any time travel in Call of Duty?
Well, I think there actually. Oh fuck! Was there some in Black Ops 3? Shit, I don't know.
I mean, if they're going sci-fi, they could.
They could do it. I mean, Titanfall did it. You get a button prompt at one point during Titanfall 2's campaign, which, depending on your control configuration, will be different. But for me, said press X to time travel.
Okay. What was the effect of that? Like, was it cool?
Yeah, it was cool, actually. You basically swapped levels.
So are you swapping back and forth?
Yeah, you swap back and forth as you like do sick wall runs and stuff like that, and like get through this ruined facility. So you go between a state where it is ruined and not ruined.
That's really interesting because just over the summer break, I watched my younger brother play a very similar level in Dishonored 2, where you're time traveling between a ruined and non-ruined version of the same level. That sounds very similar.
I have not reached that point yet, but I do.
I won't give any more details than that.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about that though.
It was very cool to watch.
Yeah, the Titanfall 2 level is also really interesting to watch, just because it, like the whole game operates on this crazy sense of speed. So while I was running through it appropriately, it felt like a Portal game as I was running through this level.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I say appropriately because it's on the same engine.
Okay, I didn't know that. So it was using Source, is it?
Yeah, it's using Source. And
didn't know that at all.
What they had to do to actually get that level to work is really interesting too.
What's that?
Basically, when you're doing these levels, you're actually seeing two levels literally stacked on top of each other in the same coordinates. And it just instantly swaps between them.
That sounds like it's probably how the Dishonored one works from what I saw, because you can, with your time travel device, look into the other one at the same time, so you can see them both at the same time, which must be hard to do, because I know that reflections, for example, are difficult to do in a video game, because you've got to sort of render the same space twice, and also figure out the reflection stuff. But in this case, yeah, you're essentially rendering it two lots of the thing. You've kind of got two cameras. It must be pretty expensive, so it's impressive they managed to do it.
It's the power of this console generation, I guess.
I suppose. Yeah, this was on PS4. I was watching it, actually.
Like,
was that what you were playing Titanfall 2 on?
I was, yeah. That game runs at 60 frames a second on a console. It's incredible.
I mean, I can never tell the difference between 60 and 30 frames a second anyway, so...
I can just, like, terms of feel, I guess.
I mean, I play with a wireless mouse, so I'm probably used to small amounts of input lag that will be, like, the same kind of level as it. But no, I don't notice it. That's never bothered me.
That's fair.
If I played like competitive shooters, I'm sure it would make a difference. But I don't play competitive shooters.
And that's probably for the best.
Probably.
Just like
I'd
considering
probably get really stressed if I did.
considering the multiplayer gaming community, just like on a whole, probably for the best.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I've never got into that. Anyway, but yeah, it's interesting. There's actually a fair few games that do that, swapping back and forth timetable between a ruined version of something and that place in its prime. Another one I've played is one of the Prince of Persia games, The Warrior Within, which is the second Prince of Persia game, where the idea is this is an old game. I'm assuming people don't mind spoilers. If you don't want to spoil Warrior Within, I'm about to say some stuff, so block your ears. I don't know. The gist of the game is, as a result of the events of the previous game, the prince, the protagonist, now he was meant to die in the first game, so this sort of avatar of fate is out to kill him. But he knows if he goes back to the island with the Sands of Time, this mythical thing that is the cause of his curse, if he goes back there and stops him being created, because time travel is a big thing in Prince of Persia, then he can escape his fate. And he gets to this island, and it's all ruined, and there's pretty much basically no one there. But he finds a sort of time travel room where he goes in, steps into this sand portal, and then plays this little cinematic where all the vines disappear and the cracks disappear and stuff. And you go back in time to when it was in its prime. And throughout the game, you're swapping back and forth between those two versions of it. And there's a lot of platforming puzzles and stuff. And the terrain will change slightly, and there's different enemies in the different times and stuff, which is really cool. But it's the same general idea of you have one map, but two versions of it in different times that you swap back and forth between, which can make some really interesting stuff. It doesn't have, it's an older game, which will be perhaps part of the reason why. It doesn't have the same, near instant swapping back and forth, or swapping back and forth at will, as Dishonored 2 and Titanfall 2. It's certain points in the game, you have to be in a particular area to go to these special rooms where you can go back and forth. But it's still the same kind of idea, which is pretty neat. And of course, Prince of Persia has got some really interesting, just general time travel stuff as well. It's the whole, the base mechanic of this game is, hey, you can rewind time whenever you want. So if you fuck up, you have these points you can spend. You just hold down the R key or whatever, and you'll rewind time up to a certain amount. So you get hit in combat, or even you get killed. Just rewind time and try again, as long as you've got points, which is a really neat mechanic. And there hasn't been a new Prince of Persia game in a while. But that was really fun.
I really like a game that uses something pretty similar, but it's
what's that?
Radically different genre.
Okay.
Dirt 3.
You can reverse time.
Yep. At any point, if you I fucked up my racing line a bit. I destroyed my car entirely, etc., etc. You can use what's called a flashback.
Okay.
And the flashback will allow you to choose a point at which you can rewind time to within, it's about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So
that's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a significant chunk, and it gives you the ability to kind of undo your screw-ups.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that they also let you continue to use that in the stunt modes that they have.
What is that, and what's stunt mode?
I call it stunt mode just so it's easier to explain. Basically, you're doing a bunch of tricks to rack up points, kind of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater kind of deal.
Except in a car.
Except you're in a car and you're
right.
drifting into things and doing donuts in fixed spots, stuff like that, to get the crowd very excited and earn points. But you can continue to use those flashbacks during it, which means that if you fuck up a combo, it's not actually that huge a deal.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're willing to take a small hit to your reputation gains.
Right.
Is
There's a slight penalty to using it.
Slight penalty to experience, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Minor loss, you can make up for it. It's not a big deal.
Hmm. Um, the other thing, yeah, one thing I wish these games that let you rewind could do is go and watch a replay of without the time rewinding, so you can see like your perfect
Oh
run.
yeah, that's what Dirt 3 lets you do. At the end,
Yeah, I wish you could have that with Prince of Persia games, but I don't think you've ever been able to.
yeah, the thing that the thing you can do with Dirt 3 is just
Hmm.
at the end there's a replay of your final run. So even if you
Right.
used all 5 of the flashbacks that you had,
It just ignores that and shows you that what you did
exactly.
that you kept, right?
And another game that does something along that lines is Super Hot.
Oh, is that
That's the one
the
where
one we?
time only moves when you move.
Yes. I'd forgotten about that game. It's a really cool idea, isn't it? I haven't played it. I've seen a few videos of people playing it, and it looks really interesting. It looks like it's got a really high skill ceiling as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a really interesting one. Actually, you know what that reminds me
Hmm.
of? Braid. Have you
Great.
played Braid? The puzzle game.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking of the right one. The one
Yeah.
that was by the guy who would
You're.
later do The Witness, right?
I've no idea.
Yes,
Sorry.
same person,
I'm bad at keeping track of that
same
stuff.
person. It
You're
is,
the redhead guy in a suit
yeah,
through the whole thing. Yeah, because every set of levels in that has got a different twist. And I remember one of them is as you move right, time goes forward. As you move left, time goes back. And there's a whole bunch of others. Like yeah, I think you can rewind time at any point during that whole thing, but the different levels have got different quirks. And that one in particular, where you move right, time goes forward. You move left, time goes back. That one stuck with me, I think, more than any of the others, which was really quite cool. It had some really nice twists on that. And then, of course, there's the bit right at the end where you redo the final level in reverse, and it tells like quite a different story. Have you played the final thing of it?
the final Super Hot.
Final level? No, Braid.
I
The final level
have
of Braid.
not played the final thing
Okay.
in Braid.
The final level of Braid's kind of interesting
Okay.
in a time travel sense.
Okay.
I mean, the whole game's kind of interesting in a time travel sense, and it's not super huge and time consuming either.
No, it's like a couple hours.
That wasn't meant to
isn't
be
it?
a joke. Time consuming. Probably. It's been a while since I played it, but it was a fun, interesting couple of hours. I mean, it's a puzzle game. It makes you think. I'd forgotten about that one though. I hadn't intended to bring that one up, but that is a good one. Yeah, super hot. I haven't tried that. Now I'm trying to think. I'm sure I've seen games where to solve a puzzle you have to go and change stuff from the past. I'm trying to think now what one I'm thinking of. I'm sure I feel like I've seen one recently. I can't for the life of me think of what it was.
Surprisingly, Titanfall 2 had a couple bits like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, there was a couple moments in which you did have to you have to go back in time and solve a puzzle, and like as you're traversing the level, you also have to like go back in time to progress through this area because it's blocked off in the present.
Yeah, Dishonored 2 had the same kind of stuff in its
Yeah.
levels. Like, oh, you've got to. This area is filled with water. If you want to get the secret thing, you've got to drain it, but in the past because you can't find the crank to turn the nozzle or whatever in the future.
God, I love stuff like that.
Well, I guess if you still need to play Chrono Trigger,
Yes, I do.
that is the best time travel game, in my opinion. It's so good, and the whole story is quite. It revolves quite heavily around time travel, but I don't want to say much more than that because the story is really cool and everyone should discover it for themselves.
Definitely.
But it does have some stuff where, of course, things you do in the past affect the future. I mean, you're playing a time travel game; it'd be boring if that didn't happen, right? But it's quite cool, especially once the game opens out at one point, and you can see like there's one point where you have to change something in one time, and you then go ahead to the next time and pick up something you left. But after you do that quest, even after you go and pick it up in the future, when you're back in the time period where you've left it, it's still there and it's there the whole time. It gives you a real nice sense of, oh yeah, it was actually there for like a few hundred years, even though it was like 2 minutes for me. It's got some really cool stuff. I don't want to go too deep into it because Chrono Trigger is one game I don't want to spoil for anyone. It's too good.
Yeah,
Too good to
definitely.
spoil.
I do want to talk about a game where the inverse of what you were talking about happens, where the future affects the past.
That sounds backwards.
Yeah,
Does it
basically.
involve a redefinition of terms?
Nope, it doesn't. It actually just like exists. It's called Life is Strange. You might have heard of it.
Yeah, I've got it right here at the top of my Steam list. Not played it yet.
Okay. Do you mind some minor mechanical spoilers? I will not. I will not spoil any
I'm
narrative.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I've already effectively spoiled it as well as the other thing.
You have a bit.
But
You have a bit.
yeah, you have the opportunity to rewind time and thus make different choices.
Okay.
That's as far as that goes.
Okay.
Future affecting the past is a pretty cool concept. God, that game's fun.
It reminds me of you've played Metal Gear Solid 3, right? Snake Eater.
Like a little. I'm ashamed to say.
Have you played up to the part where you encounter Revolver Ocelot?
Yes, for the first time. I do remember that. He
kill him?
meows very loudly.
Did you kill him?
I did not because I'm good.
You should have killed him because do you know what happens?
Oh, you get a time paradox. I remember this.
Yeah. You get a game over with instead of the Snake is dead message comes up, it comes up with time paradox.
I think I did that actually once. Now that I think about it, I played it on the 3DS, and I think
oh, okay, that's right. You've told me that.
and I think I did that when I first got it because I was like, oh yeah, you can do the time paradox thing. I have to do this at least once.
Yeah. It's interesting for a game that doesn't actually involve time travel, yet you can inflict a time paradox.
This is actually...
I don't think I've seen that in other games.
This is interesting as well. Some spoilers for Call of Duty Modern Warfare ahead. Both of us have played it. Do you remember the mission One Shot, One Kill?
Is that the one where you're wearing the grass suit?
That was the mission before that. One Shot, One Kill is the actual, is the one where you actually, zoom in and it's all the wind and...
Oh, I think that was the same mission.
No, it's actually a separate mission I discovered.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the only bit of the game I remember.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that bit. In the remaster of Modern Warfare, the antagonist from Modern Warfare 2 and 3 is present in one of the vehicles.
Oh.
Now, in Modern Warfare 3, there was a cinematic which actually, put him there.
Yeah, but he wasn't actually there when they did it.
Yeah, he wasn't actually there in the original version of the game. So in the remaster, he's now there.
And if you kill him, you get a time paradox?
Yeah, if you kill him and complete the objective, you get an achievement called Time Paradox.
Oh, just an achievement. Okay, not a game over. That's probably for the best.
You don't get a game over. You do get that Time Paradox achievement, though.
Yeah, killing a character in a shooter like that is a bigger deal than killing a named character in a game like Metal Gear Solid, so I can understand why they did that differently there and in each of those games.
I mean, the character's technically, named and fleshed out and stuff.
Yeah, but the later parts of the story can't not happen because they're not there.
Yeah, not there yet, but they would be. But but then you time paradoxed it.
I wonder if there are any other games that have that time paradox without the thing. I know there are some games that involve time travel into the future of a sort. Fallout 4 being one of them, really.
Shit, what? Did I miss something in there?
I mean, time travel into the future is easy, right? You just have to wait.
Fuck, you're right.
But of course, Fallout 4, right at the start of the game, there's a 200-year jump into the future.
Yeah, I forgot. Shit.
I know there are some other games that do that, like XCOM 2 starts with... I mean, some of these are just, oh, it's the sequel, time has passed. So I can't really call it time travel, but like with XCOM 2, oh, it's been 20 years. That's just, there's a gap in the sequel. But Fallout 4, you actually play, and then,
things happen. And you're
things happen,
200
and
years
time
in the
passes
future.
immediately for you, and you as the player are there while it happens immediately. That's the difference. That's quite cool. I don't know if many other... I can't think off the top of my head of any other games that have that at any point in them. I know there are some games that do have that time has passed and the protagonist hasn't experienced it. XCOM 2 is one of those. Half-Life 2 is one of those.
Metal Gear
Portal
Solid 5
2 is one of those.
has a moment where time has passed and you, as the protagonist, have experienced it.
You were in a coma. I'm not sure if I want to count that as time travel quite as much as the other ones. But I suppose, actually, some of the things I'm talking about are kind of the same. No, that's fair. I should give you that. Shouldn't be too pedantic, should I?
Be a little pedantic. It's fine.
I'm always a little pedantic. I'm just scrolling through my Steam list now to see if there are any others that have got that sort of time travel into the future.
Well, I do want to apologize for dipping into like Call of Duty Modern Warfare for a second.
Okay, you've been playing a lot of that, so you're allowed to talk about it. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm like ashamed to admit that I can put together a timeline of events in the Modern Warfare games. That's how like much I paid attention to the story and understand it. Like,
I found another one with time travel to the future.
Oh Christ, what do we got?
It's another 2 game. These all seem to be 2 games. What have I said? I've said XCOM 2, Half-Life 2, Portal 2, Mass Effect 2 as well.
Oh, right, where you wake up from a coma at the beginning of the game.
No. You does anyone mind Mass Effect 2 spoilers? No? Okay, close your ears if you do. I'm sure you've got flaps to do that. No, at the start of Mass Effect 2, you die.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then you come back a year later. Immediately.
Thanks, Lazarus. You've done it again.
But I think that, I mean, I don't know of any that have got as big a time travel into the future as Fallout 4 has with 200 years. I mean, a lot of things changed there. A lot more things than other games. The other ones, it's like, oh, your friends have moved on. But it's okay, you can still be friends.
All right. Well, I've got a question this week, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Shockingly.
What's that?
This is from @MorbidCuriosity on Twitter, who asks, what's your favorite Souls game, including Demon Souls and Bloodborne?
I've only played Dark Souls.
So that's your favorite. Easy answer. My favorite's probably Bloodborne, I think, is going to have to
I thought you'd say that.
Yeah. I do have to, like, in fairness, Dark Souls is also the only one I've completed. I have Dark Souls
I just got
2 and
stuck
3.
I got stuck with the Silver Knight archers and Anor Londo because they're horrible.
Yeah, fuck those guys. I mean,
after like a dozen attempts, I just gave up and didn't come back.
At that point, though,
Like,
like
I
I
enjoyed the
had
game
I had a
after that.
shield that I could block 100% physical damage with.
Oh, so did I, but they still knock you back a lot, and you're on this tiny little narrow ledge.
You just run.
You know, I ran like a dozen times, and it didn't work. I got hit every time.
It tries to do some things. God, yeah, it's...
Anyway, aside from that, I really enjoyed the game.
Yeah, Dark Souls is really good, but fuck Anor Londo.
Well, I had this... Actually, this thing just got to me a little bit in Dark Souls, which is interesting, because it shouldn't. But it did because it's so different to other video games, which is... loot you can miss that's not your fault. There is... And there's probably a few examples of this, but the what's it called? Like the gargoyle, the thing with an axe for its tail. One of the first bosses you fight, it has a low chance of dropping a unique helm.
Oh yeah,
that's the only way you can get it.
And like,
is if this boss happens to drop it. If it doesn't, you just don't get that helm ever.
There's other stuff like the first boss that you fight in the game even has a piece of loot like that. They have the that hammer that they use,
and this is just stuff that you could miss through no fault of your own. And also, you won't get all of it in one playthrough, even if you're lucky enough to get some of it. And for some reason, I found that it's kind of hard to handle. I feel like I should be able to go looking for a separate piece of loot, but like, I shouldn't worry about that. It's not like they're necessary for completing the game. It was kind of interesting just how that made me feel. I don't know of any other games that have done that. Normally, a super special piece of loot, either you can grind for it, or you just have to solve a puzzle, go out of your way to get it.
Yeah.
It's not, there's a chance, and you only get one chance. I don't know of other things that do that. It was pretty interesting. At least, excuse me, if anything else does that, I imagine it will probably be for a shorter campaign where it doesn't matter as much. Because there are games like The Binding of Isaac and stuff, or roguelike kind of games where you or Risk of Rain and stuff, where you're going to get this item and not that item and stuff, but the playthroughs will last less than an hour. So it doesn't really matter as much. Whereas if you're playing Dark Souls, we're talking of 10 to 20 hours or more? I can't remember. But significant chunks. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really remembered that until just now when I was thinking of playing Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is a good-ass video game.
It is. It's nice how it's got deep layer of lore that is not fully explained to you but can be pieced together. It's really cool.
And just everything about that game is fascinating. I'm also I'm kind of excited about Neo, the Samurai Souls style game that's coming out or has come out. Sorry.
Have you mentioned it to me? I don't
think I have. It's out on PS4 now.
Oh, okay.
And it's it's a samurai style Dark Souls game. They're being
monster fighting stuff or
yeah, monster fighting stuff. I remembered the name of that game that I wanted to tell you about last week too. The Monster Hunter, but super cartoony art style kind of deal.
What was that?
It's Dauntless.
D-A-U-T. Oh, where'd it go? Dauntless. PlayDauntless.com. Coming to PC in 2017. Oh, so it's not out yet.
Nope, it's not out yet. There's some alpha stuff that's out now.
That's an owlbear!
Yep.
That's a D&D thing.
Oh. I wanted to mention... Let's keep it on this time travel track, actually, because I got something else that I want to mention that's on the lines of D&D and time travel.
What's that?
It's the Adventure Zone.
Ah, yes. You like that podcast. It's a McElroy podcast,
It is a McElroy product. In the Adventure Zone, in one of the arcs, it was called the 11th Hour. In this arc, some spoilers for the Adventure Zone ahead, at the end of each hour that they spent in this world, essentially the area that they were in collapsed, and they died. And then time resets.
The end? Okay.
Time resets. They were caught inside a loop of the same hour over and over. They had no persistence on any items. No persistence on death, obviously.
You'd hope so.
If they all died somehow, whether through the collapse or other means, then it would reset by the end of the hour. But it's an interesting scenario which did not happen, which is if one of them died and then they managed to break the loop.
Right.
So they would, if someone died, they'd have to consciously avoid breaking the loop.
Yeah, if they figured out how they could break it.
Yep. It also made for some interesting puzzle solving stuff. It was kind of neat.
I suppose you'd probably progress further and further each time, right? Because you're like, oh, I know how to convince this person of this. I know where this item is.
Yeah,
exactly. I know what
exactly.
the solution to this problem is.
If they actually wanted to continue along the same path that they'd chosen, they could just skip that because it's D&D. They could just say, oh yeah, let's skip to this point.
Yeah, we do that stuff we did again.
Yep. And they definitely took advantage of oh yeah, we know how to do this faster now. And we have we're putting together all the puzzle pieces over the course of this hour. And I think that was a really cool approach to the time loop. Also, in Voltron, there's a bit where someone gets caught in a time loop, and they start aging backwards.
That's double time weirdness.
Yeah, they start aging backwards over the course of the time loop, which is funny. It's very good. Voltron's a good show. The Adventure Zone is a good show. Check them both out. They're really good.
I wonder if there are any video games that have that time loop sort of thing. Because, I mean, there's movies, like everyone knows Groundhog Day, and there's also Edge of Tomorrow that both have time loop stuff.
Yeah, if you like watching, like, if you, like, hate Tom Cruise, and want to, like, watch him die to a bunch of things over and over, Edge of Tomorrow, there it is.
I really liked it as a movie as well.
Yeah, apparently it's like a good movie, and if you like Tom Cruise as an actor, it's good, and like it's a good outing for him. And if you don't like Tom Cruise as an actor, he just dies over and over.
Can you think of any games that have got that sort of loop?
Sort of time loop shit.
I can't think of any that do. I feel like it's the sort of thing you might get in a point and click puzzle adventure or something.
Yeah.
More than anything else, but I don't know if any have done it.
I don't know. I don't think you can get caught in any loops in, like, Life is Strange or anything like that.
I mean, I know there's games where you can replay bits of time, but that's like Assassin's Creed, where it's sort of not really time travel stuff anyway. Or it's just, hey, replay a mission game mechanic just for fun, which doesn't really count.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything that offers that kind of, like, time loop scenario.
No, neither can I. Maybe it's a missed opportunity.
Might be. Hey, game devs. You heard it here first.
All you need is a good story, and
yeah, you just need to, like, wrap the story around that.
But hey, here's one idea.
It's something. Good luck, I guess. Jesus. So, Mark, do you have anything else you want to talk about this week?
I'm just having a look through my list of games to see if any ones I've forgotten that have time travel are popping out at me. I mean, I've got a bunch of Prince of Persia ones, but they all deal with it in kind of the same way.
They covered a lot of time travel this week, though, huh?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of time travel to cover. There's a lot more we will have missed.
Sorry?
There's a lot more we will have missed.
Yeah, fucking absolutely. But we also talked about it, like, a lot. Maybe we can set that aside and come back to this discussion sometime in the future.
Yeah, I mean, on even similar stuff as games that have flashback levels, it's kind of a bit like that, but you don't then tend to change stuff.
That reminded me that, like, fired every single, like, synapse in my brain the second that you said that.
Okay.
Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction was a fucking nightmare.
You didn't like it? I didn't like it. I like Splinter Cell games. I wasn't a huge fan of Conviction. It was actually seeing Max Payne 3 that reminded me of flashbacks. Though.
I was not a big fan of Conviction on the, like, basis that the entire story is told
it wasn't
backwards.
Conviction. Sorry, it was Double Agent. I didn't like. Conviction. I did like.
Conviction was told all backwards. Like, there was, like, you would constantly flash between, like, oh, this was 5 days ago, and now you're back here. And then this was 4 days ago, and now you're back here. Like, way back, like you're a couple weeks back.
That's fine. Flashbacks can be a cool way of telling a story. I didn't mind that when I played
the only
Conviction.
story method, like, only storytelling method that you are using. That's not cool.
They just used it and also told the story, but that was part of it. I didn't think that was a real problem when I was playing it.
They tried to tell it backwards, is my biggest problem with it.
They told it in chunks, but lots of stories get told in discontinuous chunks like that. You build suspense. You don't know, how do they get to this position?
See, that doesn't...
You start with the most dramatic moment and you build up to it.
That doesn't quite have the same effect on me.
Works for me. Final Fantasy X, most of that game's a flashback. You have start in a scene that's near the end of the game. But you're also not, like,
flashing forward every 30 minutes.
No, Conviction didn't jump around that much.
It fucking did. It absolutely did. At the end of every single mission, you would flash forward, and then you would flash back.
It was sort of to remind you that you're in a flashback more than anything. I didn't find it confusing or
I
anything.
didn't find it confusing. I just found it fucking annoying. Like, okay, you're ruining everything that I would
Okay, I didn't
experience
find it
later.
annoying as well. I thought it just built the drama.
Yeah, I mean, Battlefield 4 had this problem as well, where the opening moments of the game are something that you run into later. Like,
Well, it's not a problem.
I don't.
It's just a way of telling the
I
story.
know it's just a way of telling a story, but it's a trope that I strongly dislike. You know.
Okay.
I don't have that same. I don't have the same reaction of, oh, this is all a flashback. This is how they're choosing to tell the story. I have like, you've ruined this for me. Now I'm not as invested.
What's that
I would
game?
rather have like a straight lead up.
What's that game? There's probably a few where if you die, the person stops and goes, "No, wait, no, that's not how it happened," and then goes back to telling the story again.
You were talking about this like either last week or a couple of weeks ago, so I'm gonna let you fucking hang.
It was
on
a few
this.
months. It was a few months ago. I don't know what it was. It was. I don't think it was Prince of Persia, which is the main one that's going to my head.
I think it was. I think it was the new Prince of
Was it?
Persia, like the one that was rebooted.
Oh, okay. There have been newer games since then that are the old Prince of Persia. Maybe it was. No, I don't think it was, because every time you died then, your friend would just save you, and you'd be back on your feet.
Okay.
So it didn't have any game over scenes.
Okay.
I think I talked about it in that context. I think Bastion had a bit where if you died, they said that's not how the story went, but that's not the one I'm thinking of, and I don't know what one I am thinking of. This is bugging me now. There have been a few like that where they've been told from a future perspective, and of course that gives you some insights like, oh, you know, this character obviously survived because they're telling the story in the future kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to bug me now. I don't think I'm going to remember right this minute. I'll probably remember like in 2 days or something.
Yeah.
Alright, what do you reckon you're going to be playing this week? More shooters or something else?
Probably just some more shooters. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm thinking some Overwatches in the cards. I'm thinking maybe some more Deus Exes in the cards. I've been playing that this week too. I'm probably also going to try and finish off Modern Warfare and try to make it perform consistently. And I think that's all I'm willing to admit to right now. How about yourself?
Still not that sure. I'm contemplating trying XCOM 2 with their Long War mod, which I think I mentioned. Oh shit, no, don't start XCOM 2. I just clicked on it, Steam. And I think I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't tried it yet. Oh, that's right. I mentioned it before I went away for the weekend, but I didn't even have it downloaded. I might try that. I'm not sure what'll probably happen is I'll feel like playing a particular game and then go and play that.
Right. I mean,
but aside from that, I'm not sure.
That's kind of how I tend to go. I tend to play it by ear.
Yeah. I haven't got any new games or games on the horizon or anything. Is there anything that you're particularly looking forward to that's coming out soon?
Persona 5.
Okay. That's
April,
DS one, is it?
Sorry?
Is that a DS game?
No, that is a PlayStation 4 game.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought Persona was a handheld franchise.
I mean, I was playing Golden on my Vita, so...
I forget you own a Vita. That's so weird.
It's weird that I have a Vita.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that exists, in case you forgot.
Yeah, just the one I know.
Last Vita owner in the world.
Okay. When's that out?
April sometime. What else is coming? A Night in the Woods is like...
That's right.
Like
yes, you've been looking forward to that too.
Far away. Holy shit. I forgot that's happening. Yeah, Night in the Woods, 12 days. So it's not quite this week.
Oh, wow. So not by next Thursday, but by the one after that.
Yeah, 22nd of February.
Are you going to get it on release, do you think?
I don't know. I'm
It's hard to J.
I might,
Yeah?
because I imagine it's going to be kind of a 5 to 6 hour game.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. And it's also
Okay.
just like it's a world populated exclusively by furries. So yes, first of all, absolutely, thank you. And then it's also about a college dropout, which I also am. So relatable. There's one of the promo screenshots on Steam, which just says, "Come on, let's go steal from my boss, who trusted me." Outside of Donut Wolf,
Donut Wolf. Oh, right. It's a franchise.
a franchise
inside
inside
the video game
of
world, is it?
the world. There's also another screenshot which reads, "Our mothers told us not to talk to you."
Okay, so you got two things that are coming out soon. You're looking forward to. That's good.
Yeah, how about you?
I wish I could. I wish I could think of one.
Fuck.
I wish I could think of one, but I feel like for me, there's nothing really looming on the horizon.
Maybe you'll get really into Night in the Woods all of a sudden.
I don't know. I might. I mean, I might end up doing something like picking up Just Cause 3 if it goes on sale again, because it's a good fuck around
Ooh,
game.
Just Cause 3 is really good.
Yeah, but it's also typically expensive-ish. It's been on sale a few times, but I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
picked it up yet.
been like $30 pretty regularly on sale.
Yeah, $30 I consider expensive.
That's fair.
I don't buy games on release, typically. I mean, sometimes I do, and then it's more than $30, but normally when it's on sale, I don't get the release. It's like 20 or less, and even then I'm like, because I've got more games than I play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I should probably get The Last Guardian,
Ooh, yeah.
to think of it. Because that game is right up my alley.
Yeah. Because you really
I mean,
liked the
I can-
previous ICO titles, right?
I haven't played Ico, but Shadow of the Colossus was,
Yeah, that's what
is
I'm
an
meaning.
amazing
Like, just
game.
that team.
Yeah, that was fantastic, and just it looks like a game I'd really enjoy as well for a variety of
For
reasons.
sure.
I mean, I could play more Final Fantasy 15. Ken's got it, but my flatmate. But I don't know. It hasn't really captured my attention as much as other Final Fantasy games have. So I don't know if I'll end up playing much more
I'm
of it
feeling that a
anytime
little
soon
bit
or not.
too, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the fact that one thing that does drive me in a lot of the Final Fantasy games I play that I really like, and I know that people criticize it, but I think it's because they're trying to expect something else. No, Steam, I said don't play XCOM. Is that they are narrative-driven games with momentum to keep you pushing forward, and they don't open out until near the end game and you can ignore all that stuff. Whereas Final Fantasy 15 starts out open and you have to do side quests to level up.
Yeah.
Which to me means I've instantly lost momentum. I don't have, like, the story feels really diluted from that as well. And I think it's a real shame. Like, they've clearly built a cool world. I really liked the movie that they had before it, but I don't feel a drive to go back and discover more, because I know that as soon as I do some interesting story stuff, I'm going to have to go off and do 15 side quests.
I mean, to be fair, I've progressed fairly linearly after a point.
And if I get to a point where it becomes like that, I'm sure that it would then drive me to pull it back. It's just getting to that point feels like it's going to be more of a slog than I'd like.
I'm
And there's
I'm
some
at
other
the half
things
of the
that-
game where it becomes linear at this point.
Yeah.
So
There's some other things that I just haven't really liked about it. Like, I know a lot of people have really liked, for example, that you can listen to the soundtracks of other Final Fantasy games when you're in the car. That seems like a cool feature. But another thing I've really liked about past Final Fantasy games is how they have such characteristic music for that game. And again, I feel like Final Fantasy 15 is diluting that a lot by doing that. I cannot think of a piece of music from Final Fantasy 15 except Stand By Me, and that's not originally from Final Fantasy 15. It was just the opening shot. And I feel like a Final Fantasy game shouldn't be like that. Like, all the other ones I liked, I can instantly think of music, like for 7 and for 10 and stuff, and for 13. they've got great, memorable music that defined that world and that story to me. Crisis Core again. Instantly, I can think of the theme. I don't know any music from Final Fantasy 15's soundtrack.
I'm
Not to
the
say it's not
opposite of
good,
that.
but I don't
Yeah.
find it iconic.
Like, I'm completely opposite to you in that like,
Yeah?
oh yeah, like I really love all the music that Final Fantasy 15 has, and I love the character it gives it, and I can like give you individual pieces, Omnis Lacrima, Hellfire.
I think perhaps if I get to the point where it's more story stuff and then the music starts to tie it into the story more, because now doing side quest stuff, it's like exploration music, combat music and stuff, rather than drama story tied to the music,
Right,
which is
yeah.
what makes it memorable for me. I think we've talked about that a couple of times before. Maybe that's why I'm feeling like that. Maybe I just need to get to that certain point
I mean,
once
you
it
can
becomes
you
like
can
that,
just
and
push.
then I enjoy it. I don't
You
know.
can just push to.
I could.
Like, chapter 8 is where things start getting a little more linear. So
Okay.
if you could just
I just worry
push
about
there.
being underleveled or something. I don't know. I might. Yeah, I probably will eventually. I don't know.
It definitely is hard to be underleveled for that, actually.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, that's good to know. From my
yeah.
perspective, other perspectives maybe not so much. I don't know.
Make some use of the lodgings and stuff like that, and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned that to me. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll touch 15 again, but not entirely sure what I'll be playing this week. We'll see.
Maybe I can get you the.
Hopefully, I won't come back in another week and say I haven't played any video games in 3 weeks. I'm hoping not to get to that.
Maybe
point.
I can bring you Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, and you can.
I don't know if I played that much because I didn't get that into
Human Revolution, right?
Human Revolution.
Uh,
I just found it was. I just found I tried to explore every nook and cranny, which means I never really got far past the first mission, and I'd spent like 8 hours in it. You know.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Oh, actually, that's right. And then I got stuck on the boss of the first one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Before they did all like the reworking and made the
Yeah.
game good to play. So last week, if you listened to the show, thank you very much. We launched our Patreon. It's just gotten started. It's really great. We have also just added a new tier to that. Once a month, if you're supporting us with $5 every month, once a month you'll have the opportunity to put a personal shout out onto the show. We're gonna max out. We're gonna take like 20 people on that tier and look at doing like a max of 5 super quick shout outs at the end of each week, just to keep things reasonable. So if you want to get short shout outs to anyone or anything on the show, you can support us with our $5 tier that we've added on Patreon. We're still working on finalizing some more stuff that we can do with it. We've also just got our $1 tier. We'll have a Patreon feed. We'll be kind of looking at the comments and stuff like that on the Patreon feed and interacting with our patrons, trying to give them some good hashtag content. So, if you're interested in any of this and interested in seeing what's gonna come, because we'll probably add more tiers around like the $5-10 tier or like point. If you want to support our show, you can do it. Patreon.com/PauseCastShow. Your support would be really appreciated. Every patron who we have at this point as well will also be getting a personal shout out and thanks on the show every week for now. So you can get in on this. Get in on the ground floor. God. I want to give a shout out to Leon for the use of our new theme song.
Happy birthday.
Huh?
It is happy birthday,
Oh,
right?
no, it's not. Sorry. It is not Happy Birthday. It is called Honey...
Foiled again.
It's called Honey Milk Island. And it is from Leon's self-titled EP. You can get that at soundcloud.com/LEYAWN. Or you can find it on Apple Music or Spotify, I presume. I did not check Spotify, but I know that I found it on Apple Music, so.
Cool.
Get that. We got a bunch of social media shit all around the internet. Mark, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at Honest Universe, my blog as well, but not about video games at honestuniverse.com.
All right. And
what about you?
You can find me everywhere, Cockatiel Cutie. I'm on Twitter, Facebook. I'm on Tumblr at the incredible URL bird.school. I'm so proud of that URL, man. You can find the show everywhere that you could possibly desire to. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. It's actually not on Tumblr. Maybe I should fix that at some point. But Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, Patreon, as we mentioned. You can find our Twitter, twitter.com/PauseCast show. You can find our Facebook, facebook.com/groups/PauseCast show. You can join that group. We just keep all the robots out. We like it that way. It's more private.
I'm thinking of all the ones I control you with. We're like LinkedIn, Google+, LiveJournal,
now,
Bebo.
We have none of those. I do have to say, you wish we had a LinkedIn. Like, you wish that we had the kind of, like, clout to, like, warrant...
I'm sure that LinkedIn is a big thing for lots of podcasts.
I'm sure LinkedIn is just huge. It's just massive. I'm sure that there was totally not big security breaches to LinkedIn at any point in the recent future.
I'm sure it has some use aside from sending me annoying emails from time to time.
That is a lie. It doesn't. If anybody told you that it actually did, you have been...
They work for LinkedIn.
Yeah. They worked for LinkedIn, and you were also lied to, is the other part of that. Lied to actively, in fact. So just... You gotta get out of there.
I thought I'd just like LinkedIn more than you, but maybe not.
I fucking hate LinkedIn.
I'm not a fan either. Okay.
But
maybe we should. Maybe we won't start
no,
LinkedIn
like
hate
I'm on
for
a
the show.
path of like pure hatred, dude. LinkedIn fucking sucks. Fuck LinkedIn. Thank you so much. I'd like to apologize to any LinkedIn executives who are listening to our show about video games, only to come on and hear us disparaging your company. I'm sure it's...
You should sponsor us.
No, don't do that. That would be... You would be committing a criminal crime. All right. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Oh yeah, we didn't fucking mention iTunes, bit.ly/pausecast-iTunes, Pocket Casts, pca.st/pausecast. That's everything. Holy fuck. I can stop saying links now.
Cool. Okay.
I do have more things to say though, oh god. Get free video games. Email our show. That's it.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm actually just about to check our inbox really quick. And, like... What are you doing? You're sitting on it. Free video games. Project Cars. Dragon's Dogma. Dark Arisen, if you email us with a dragon that you like. Moon Hunters, if you email some moon fact. Nice and easy. Could I throw in a bunch of Star Wars games into this? Yes, I could. Will I? Maybe. We'll see.
Didn't you have XCOM 2 up there as well?
I have XCOM 2 up there. That's right. Shit.
XCOM 2 is like a big, expensive AAA
That's like
game.
a $60 video game.
It's a really good game too. I really liked it.
Get XCOM 2. Email us. Podcastshow@gmail.com. What are you doing? Get up in it. All right. That's it. Finally, for real. Holy fuck.
Thanks for listening, especially if you got to this point.
Yeah, holy shit. I really need to condense beyond this point. It sucks to listen to. It sucks to say. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for listening to our show. We appreciate it, like, a lot. We will see you next week.